Always refer to that. Also, all OB lines are always going to be delineated by a white painted line. So there's no be like. Presented by Innova. This is your 11 18 tee time for the MJ15 division at Haikey Creek. Next up on the box, from Valrico, Florida, put your hands together for Eli Brown.
Hello everybody, we are here, hole 1. So excited to be back here at Junior Worlds, but also really nervous. But coming up here to hole 1, 635 foot par 4, and there's a creek off to the left side, and we're throwing from out of bounds here, and you're trying to cross the creek. So I'm trying to throw it pretty much flat with this. There's a headwind here. I'm trying to throw it flat and let the headwind turn it over a little bit. You might barely be able to see it up there in the air, but came down over there by that tree, small little tree in the middle of the fairway. Now here there's a line up high to the right, and if you throw it good, it can work out. But here I just threw it pretty early, but still I'm still fine. It's still get up and down and should be able to take the easy par. And then there on the approach shot, I thought I threw a perfect approach shot, and it ended up going a little long off that skip. I think it was because of that wind. And there on that putt, just barely crawls it over the rim. Okay, now we are here on hole 2, par 3, 360 feet, and just trying to throw like a little pushing hyzer into this gap with my vulture. Here, it's off to the left in between those trees, and I got a little too much flip on that, so. But I'm still well within range. Out of my hand, it felt really good, but just a little bit too far to the right. And then a solid comebacker. Here on hole 3, par 4, 685 feet, you can either go down the center or you can go high left like I am. And there I threw that thing pretty much perfect. And it's up there pretty well. And here I am. I range finded it about 300 feet from the basket. So I'm throwing a forehand out to the left. Here I throw it a little too much hyzer. And I'm up there, and I gotta look I'm right there by that tree. This is probably about a 40-45 footer. Just didn't commit to it, getting it up higher, and threw it a little bit too low and too far to the left. Hole 4, par 3, 410 feet. Here I'm just trying to throw a nice controlled hyzer with my force. I'm trying to get it to fade. And it came off a little bit off the screen, but it got a nice little skip up there to the green. Now I'm left with this short putt. Taking a birdie on this course is amazing, especially on this front nine. This front nine's pretty tough. Alright, hole 5 here, par 3, 425 feet. I'm just playing this one for par, and dong. It's so funny how I just hit the one little sign that was in the fairway, and now I've got this left here. Try and get that up and down. Yep, throw a decent shot. I would like it a little bit closer, but if I make this, I'm still feeling really good. There we go. Just over the rim. Alright, hole 6, par 4, 525 feet. This is I'm throwing my Firebird. This one's one that you want to push it up to this gap, and I throw it a little too far inside, and it's gonna be a tough look. So here now, I'm just in a position where I'm just trying to pitch out into where I can get up and down pretty easily. And pretty much exactly what I was looking for. Couldn't ask for better, and now I'm left with this short little approach shot. And I'm pretty much under the basket for this. Hole 7, par 4, 670 feet. This one you're trying to get it up there straight ahead and come up just before there's a little, well actually I think it's casual, but you usually end up landing just before this little creek. And that one, I just like ran up to it weird, and I was just off balance and I ended up pulling it. Now here I'm trying to throw my DD3 on a hyzer flip up to the basket. Really pretty tough shot. And this ground up in Tulsa gets pretty skipping. I just barely slide out of bounds. Now I'm left with this putt here to save the par. And it's in. A very solid putt. Feeling really good about that. Hole 8 here is a 445 foot par 4 wide open. Now this one, everybody that was here coming up to it thought it was a par 3 because during practice they didn't have the signs out for a while. But it definitely plays more like a par 3 than a par 4. It plays more like a hard par 3 than and then this is just a really easy par 4. And on this one, the entire card ends up actually taking a start frame on it. Alright, hole 9, par 3, 380 feet. Just trying to throw this low ceiling hyzer. And that one I just didn't even get down on it. And now I'm left with this to try and get up and down. This isn't super far from the basket. I'm throwing my zone. I'm just trying to get just underneath those tree limbs and then have it skip up. Comes up a little short though. And now I'm left with this low ceiling, and I just decided to pitch it up and not bring that ceiling into play to try and give it a bid. Taking a bogey. Moving into hole 10, par 4, 480 feet. I got my method in my hand, throwing a forehand with it, and it's up there. It hits a tree, but I'm still in a great position. And here, because of how the fairway shapes, it's up and to the left. I decided to throw a forehand roller with my pure. And it gets up there and takes a nice sharp turn to the left. And then here there's a drop off right behind the basket, so I just decided to pitch it up and take my par. Hole 11 here, par 3, 230 feet. I'm trying to throw my zone here on a little flex and get it up there and skip up to the hill. It hit a small little hill just short of it, but it still is able to skip up there, and now I'm left with this 20-foot putt. That one ends up sticking to my hands a little bit and hits top right, but still goes in. And this is hole 12, par 3, 325 feet, sharp turn to the left. Well, not really sharp because you actually need to skip straight. Really interesting hole. And I ended up throwing a perfect shot off to the left. And now I'm left with a 25 footer. Hole 13, par 3, 265 feet. You're trying to, it's a small little hyzer. I'm trying to put it up there. Just that tree that I hit, you're trying to get just to the left of it and then get it to skip up there. And then from here, I'm just trying to pitch it up there. Hole 14, par 3, 355 feet. It's up and to the left, but you don't want it to like turn super hard to the left. You want it to push straighter, and I end up pulling it a little bit, but it ends up fading nicely. Now I'm left with a 45 footer. Just barely missed it off to the left. Now I'm probably left with another 17 footer left for the par. And then there, I just didn't commit to it. And then here I'm trying to throw a forehand flex shot off to the left side on this 580 foot par 4. And I just needed a touch more turn on it. It would have been the ideal landing zone up there. And then here I ranged it at about 370 feet. And I'm trying to throw this like low hyzer, slow flipping shot that has a decent amount of fade. And it does pretty much just that. I come up just short to the left and just short left of the basket. And I've got this putt. I've got a slight bit of headwind that's coming in up to my face. And with that headwind, I thought it was gonna raise it a little more than it was, but it just acted as if there was no wind. But I'll take a par. Moving into I thought like there was that headwind and I was like it should hold it up and it didn't. Hole 16, par 4, 605 feet. This one I've got my force in my hand. I'm trying to push it up there off to the right to leave myself with a simple forehand Firebird in there. Yeah. That's probably the more ideal landing zone. That's probably where most people are trying to land it at. And then here, I think I ranged it at about 280 feet. And I'm just trying to throw my Firebird and let it skip up there. Although it gets up there and it just doesn't really skip. And then here I've got this about 35 footer. It just never even gave it a chance. Didn't get it up into the air off to the right, and early released it. Solid comebacker though, moving into hole 17. Slightly early, but I should be left with a just inside circle look. I forgot to say that this hole is an island hole, and it's I can, in some wind it can get really tough, but when there's these low winds that we have right here, we shouldn't be missing it. And then here, hole 18, par 4, 565 feet. Trying to throw my force, have it kind of push straight, and then finish off to the left to leave me with a simple upshot. I end up putting this one a good ways up there to where I just have to putt it up there and tap in and tap it in for my birdie. Thank you guys for watching, and stay tuned for round 2.